Hello, today we are doing another old school technique. Instead of a box this time, we are doing a very simple technique for making a background, and it is the baby wipe technique, which I'm sure some of you have done, but it's always fun to revisit the old school stuff. So the color palette for today is Crumb Cake, Bermuda Bay, Pear Pizzazz, and Daffodil Delight. So that's all those are for. But we are using, a really nice way to do this is to use our clear blocks. This is the size F clear block, and you can find these on page 182 in the annual catalog that looks like this, 2019-2020 annual catalog. All right, so we have our clear block, and then we have a baby wipe, hence the name, baby wipe technique. And then we are using ink refills, and your ink refills you can find on pages 162 through 164 in that same catalog. And all you need to do is make a few drops here and there of your color. I'm going to make way too many, but that's okay. Spread them around a little bit. Some yellow. If you want ideas for color combinations, of course you should consider what your project is, what stamps you're planning on using, what kind of theme you want to set with those, but also you can look at our designer series papers in the catalog, and those all have the colors that are used are listed right underneath sorry, I'm placing dots here. Those are all listed right underneath the names of them, and the descriptions include the colors. So those are great color palette ideas. All right, so this has now become our stamp pad. And the stamp set I'm going to use today is Rooted in Nature. And it comes in with two sets like this. There's 16 stamps all together. I bought this as soon as it came out because I have a thing for trees, so mine are wood mounted, which is not an option anymore. So I believe this one will be a cling stamp set in the current catalog, and it is on page 148. So you can find that in there. We're going to be using these 3 stamps because I don't want it to have a super fallish look. I'm kind of going a little springier. So I'm not using these 2 leaves because those just kind of say fall to me, but I'm using this one and then these 2 since they're not quite so fallish looking. And then I have my interesting color palette here. So let's see how this goes. It's always a little scary when I don't have it prototype totally made up ahead of time. So I'm just going to use this paper here, and I'm just going to make a little background. Now I'm going to stamp lightly and just kind of twist a little bit as I ink. And let's move this guy over here and stamp in random spots. Hopefully that's not shaking the table too much. I'll pick it up because we learned about that last time. Okay, flip your stamp around, go different directions. And I'm not cleaning the stamp in between each because it doesn't really matter, because I'm not going to ruin my stamp pad because it's just a baby wipe. Let's see, what's more, that turquoisey Bermuda Bay in there. Ooh, that one looks good. All right, let's get some more in there. Actually, I should save that stamp for later. Generally, I recommend doing your bigger stamps first and using your smaller ones to fill in the space that you've got left over. Let's turn this guy around a little bit. All right. Stamp off your edges. Let's overlap. Okay, I'll go back to this one. Edge there. Need one right there. Let's do one upside down over here. Okay, I want another one of these to fill in that white spot there. All right, that's good enough. Okay, so I wanted to show you, oh, also, you can see the color coming through there, but it wipes off very easily. If you don't have this block, of course, I recommend you buy one, but you could also put maybe some plastic wrap down on your spot and lay it on there, because obviously it's going to soak through whatever, and you don't want to stain your table, unless you don't care about staining your table, of course. But definitely the clear block is fantastic for this, because you can just wipe it right off and it's good to go. This is an earlier one that I did today. This one has Pacific Point, Pumpkin Pie, and Daffodil Delight in it. And I again used the Beautiful Day set, mostly because it was still sitting here from last time, because I don't clean up after myself. And this is on page 131 in the current catalog. And so I did this. So I stamped our big friendly butterfly on there. And then this background is on a piece of glossy paper. So I don't know if you can see that that's glossy. Turn it a little bit. And I just laid that right on the pad. I wiggled it just a little bit, because you can see I have these little silly fishies on my baby wipe. So obviously didn't want that showing up on there. So I kind of wiggled them a little bit, and then just to get a little different background there. Again, old school, very old school layout, but it's bright and cheery. All right, now that this guy should be dry enough, let's see what we can do. So this is also out of Rooted in Nature. This guy you have to fussy cut. There's not a die for it, but it's mostly just round, so it's not a big deal. And there's the Thinking of You. So I had that ahead of time. This is a piece of crumb cake cardstock. And got some mono adhesive here. Just gonna roll some on there, and I'm going to make this a background, except what I wanted to do was put this braided ribbon on here first. So I'm going to put a little extra right there. This is the braided linen trim. Comes on a roll like this, about 10 yards. You can find that on page 174 in the catalog. All right, so now we're going to work around this a little bit. Just want to put this on as a little accent. Kind of wrap it around there. I'm sticking it down onto the adhesive that I already put down. Oh, look at that, it's pretty straight. I did well. Okay, and I want to do a double layer of that. I'm just going to pinch it around there since I know the adhesive is there. I keep that kind of evenly spaced, so then we just have a little trim on there because we like that. And then what I often do is put some more mono on the ribbon again, so that it's stuck to it with mono and there's mono there. So hopefully it's really not going anywhere. Now this is here, so I'm going to put some more mono on there again, so it's stuck really well. Just put a little bit there. When you're rolling mono, you roll it straight and then snap it off at a right angle. So you do it like you're making an L. And then you don't get the stringy boogers on there. All right. So I'm gonna center that on there. I'm just gonna eyeball it. Nope, nope, nope. Up a little higher. My friend is a doctor. So as you can imagine, she's pretty busy right now during our little pandemic here. And she and I are big fans of trails in the woods and trees and stuff. So I am thinking I will probably send this off to her. Put that there. Do we like it here? I don't know. We'll decide. But anyway, that's the baby wipe technique. It's very easy to do. And of course, you can just keep using that pad that you made over and over again. You can always add more, a couple more drops of ink to it. Should it need a little refreshing, but that's it. It's very simple, and it makes unique color combinations on your stamp. That's it. So I hope if you try this, please send me a picture, and we'll get it posted to my Facebook group. Have fun.